They laughed loudly and confidently. The Russians, they said, have built a flying barn. But their laughter quickly turned to fear, because this barn became their nightmare, an iron avenger that brought death from the sky. This is the story of the Il-2, the flying tank, the most mass-produced combat aircraft of World War II, and the machine that changed the war itself. Chapter 1. The Birth of a Beast, 1939. The USSR is preparing for a great war. Engineer Sergei Ilyushin is working on an idea that no one believes in, an armored ground attack aircraft, an aircraft that does not flee from fire, but breaks through it. The military tap their fingers on their temples. Too heavy, too slow, it won't fly. But Ilyushin knew the war would be won not by the fastest, but by the one who could survive the bullets the longest. Thus the Il-2 was born, clumsy, crude, but invulnerable. Chapter 2. First Flights, 1941. War. The front is collapsing. German aces rule the skies. The first Il-2s go into battle. The pilots are inexperienced. There is no cover. They fly low, straight into the fire. Many do not return. The Germans laugh. Flying targets. Their armor is useless. But the Russians learn quickly. With each passing month, their attacks become more accurate. With each sortie, there are fewer and fewer losses. Chapter 3. Armor that saves lives. The Il-2 cockpit is like a tank. Armor surrounds the pilot and the engine. It is up to 12 millimeters thick. Bullets ricochet. Shrapnel flies off. The plane returns with dozens of holes in it, but the pilot is alive. The Germans can't believe their eyes. These Russians, they wrote, fly in armor. One Luftwaffe pilot recalled, I fired almost my entire ammunition load at the Il-2. It was smoking, but it didn't fall. It just disappeared into the clouds. Chapter 4. Second Life with a Gunner. The Il-2 had one problem. It was easy to shoot down from behind. Sergei Ilyushin resisted for a long time, but war waits for no one. And in 1942, a new version appeared with a rear gunner. Now the enemy was met with a UBT machine gun from the tail, a wall of lead that turned German attacks into suicide missions. From that moment on, the Il-2 became truly terrifying. It was no longer possible to catch it. Chapter 5. Black Death, 1943. The Germans are no longer laughing. A new word appears on the Eastern Front. Schwarzer Tod. Black Death. That's what they had called the Il-2, because if you heard its roar, it meant that in a second, everything around you would be on fire. The attack aircraft flew in pairs, in groups, 20 or 30 planes at a time. They flew low, firing rockets, cannons, and machine guns. Everything that moves on the ground is turned to dust. Soldiers abandon their equipment and run. One German wrote home, when we hear the sound of the Il-2, our blood runs cold. They come like demons, and they leave, leaving only smoke behind. Chapter 6. The Kursk Bulge, July 1943. The largest tank battle in history, hundreds of tanks on the field, and above them, the roar of Il-2 engines. The pilots attack at an altitude of only 50 meters, almost touching the treetops. Bombs are dropped, rockets are launched, machine guns fire, the earth trembles. Dust, fire, smoke, one sortie, and the German column simply disappears. After Kursk, the Germans understood, without air superiority, they had lost. Chapter 7. Weapons of Retribution. For Soviet pilots, the Il-2 was more than just a machine. It was a symbol. They did not fly just to fight. They flew to take revenge. For the burned villages, for their dead relatives, for every tear that the war had brought. We carried vengeance on our wings, the pilots recalled. Sometimes the plane returned with a punctured wing, with a broken landing gear. But the pilot landed. He had to survive, to take off again. Chapter 8. Fear of the enemy, 1944. Wherever the Il-2 appeared, panic ensued. The Germans no longer tried to shoot it down individually. They knew that if they didn't destroy it on the first attempt, it would return, and not alone. Luftwaffe soldiers admitted, it's easier to shoot down a squadron of fighters than a single Il-2. Its armor became legendary. Its pilots became heroes. Chapter 9. The End of the War, 1945. Hundreds of Il-2s circle over Berlin, the very ones that were once laughed at. Now they are a symbol of victory. Over the years of the war, more than 36,000 of these machines were built. No other aircraft in the world was produced in such quantities, and when the red banner flew over the Reichstag, the sound of the flying tanks still hummed in the sky. Chapter 10. Legacy. After the war, the Il-2 became a legend. It wasn't beautiful, it wasn't fast, but it was resilient and honest. It saved thousands of lives. It proved that resilience and courage are more important than speed and glamour. Once they laughed at him. They called him a flying bar,